This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and special thank you to our sponsors, Sphere Rocket VA, for connecting me with Tammy today. Tammy, big warm welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you here and that you found time for us. So I guess the best way to get to know you is to just go ahead and go back all the way to the beginning. You know, Tammy, where are you from? What got you into real estate? And what market are you in now?
Well, I am born and raised in Oregon, a little town of McMinnville, Oregon, originally. My parents like to move a lot. So one maybe known fact about me is that we moved about 22 times during my schooling years.
Are you really good at packing?
I'm really good at packing. I'm good at pivoting.
Wow.
That's really good for real estate.
Pivot?
Yeah. And, but my dad was a builder remodeler. And so I like to say that I was kind of born to love real estate and be an entrepreneur. So that's kind of where things started for me. I was able to experience at a young age the benefits of owning a home. Aside from my parents being entrepreneurs and builder remodelers and us moving and pivoting, I used to read Dave Delgado's courses on how to buy property with zero down. Of course, I didn't really have the means or the discipline at the time to really dive into those programs, but they got in my head. And what really got in my head was, don't rent, purchase property, own property. And I just, at a young age, married with young children, just didn't really know how to dive in. And at one point, we found this manufactured home in a park, and it was in severe distress. And my poor husband saw all the problems with the manufactured home. It was in terrible disarray. The owner had been kicked out of the home. There was garbage everywhere. You could move a picture and see the smoke ring around the picture.
Oh my
There were
gosh.
bugs, all of it. If most people would walk away from it, but my life experience said run in. And so we bought that on contract and we lived and worked on it. We didn't have a lot of money, but my husband was in the trades. So we did what we could and traded what we could. And eventually we flipped it. We sold it. And we were able to pay off some business debt we would have otherwise not been able to, and jump into the stick-built housing market and continue to grow that way. And that's indelible in my mind because I know in my heart what a great product I have, which is home ownership and home investment. And, in a nutshell, how that can just be a catalyst for people with common means, right? So many of us, we didn't have wealth or wealth building or anything in our families to teach us how to change our lives in that way. And many young people, like when I was younger, didn't have maybe the discipline to, especially if we were in the trades, to start a 401k or invest in other ways. Right. The education or the practice in our family for that matter. And home ownership absolutely changed that for us. And while I had an idea of the investment part of it, really, I just wanted a house and I didn't want to rent. I wanted to build my own fence and, paint the walls the color that I wanted to paint them.
Right.
And, the rest came as such a great advantage. And it's different when it comes here and then it's here. And you see the impact. And so that is really why I'm in real estate. I know the advantages, and the social advantages are clear. There are studies everywhere that when you own your own home, you're more connected in your community. There are studies that kids do better in school, and so on and so forth. And then many people don't recognize or understand the economic value in your future with home ownership. So I have the best product in the world. I love home ownership, property investments, and that's kind of my story. That's how one thing I did though is that I didn't know how to jump into 100% commission. So I did everything around real estate that I could. So I went into the mortgage business for a very short time. I worked in title companies in several capacities. I realized I really loved sales. I really love people. I really love his product, but I just couldn't take that 100% commission leap. I had kids we had kids at home, and I needed that paycheck.
Yeah.
So I had also run a region for a home warranty company. Again, I assisted some agents here and there. I did everything except for dip my toe in the water. So everybody remembers in 2008-ish, the market completely crashing. Yeah. And so I tried some other things for a bit, managed a winery, did marketing for a large nonprofit here, and then finally decided, okay, it was time. Yep. So in 2018, I officially got licensed, and here I am.
Tammy, what a really cool story and background that you have in relation to real estate. Like you said, you've got a really cool product here, and people just don't understand the value, or maybe just don't have the discipline sometimes to understand the value. But I think it's a really cool story. And, you had been practicing all of this and living in the real estate world, but when did you find EXP, and how did it present itself to you? Because I know, you said you were scared to dip your toe in the water when it came to commission. So I'm sure when you were finally in there, and EXP's over here like, hey, you want to come over? You're probably like, oh my gosh, I don't know. The grass looks greener. What's the catch? So what really, caught your eye about EXP and convinced you to make the jump?
Well, first of all, I'm not new to referral-based marketing type of companies. And so that didn't really scare me like it does for some people. And I had worked with realtors. So in one of my capacities, I worked for a title company, and I got to know all of the realtors. And I saw the different hurdles that they had. I was able to sort of more intimately know the different agencies. And while EXP, I didn't know was an option when I joined real estate full time in 2018, I did start to realize that with a traditional brokerage, ultimately what I wanted to do was build a team. I started with a team, and I joined their team, but eventually I wanted to build my own team. And being in a traditional brokerage with the franchise fees, along with the split with no cap, I wasn't really going to be able to do that. And I hadn't yet figured out how I was going to do that. I was pretty excited. I exceeded my goals. Everything was great. I was happy. I wasn't unhappy where I was. But in the back of my head, I thought, at some point to do this, to build a team, something's going to have to change. Maybe an independent brokerage. I didn't know. And when EXP presented itself, they presented themselves to the team. So we as a team decided to go over. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have stepped over quite that quickly, because I was still in my honeymoon phase, with the brokerage that I was at. Mm-hmm. But it all did make sense to me. And especially watching the team members that had been at a traditional brokerage for 13 years and they saved about $100,000 just stepping into EXP. And so for me, having a cap was important, and being able to be rewarded, because when we love something, we're going to talk about it, we're going to invite our friends to it, and being rewarded from EXP for that was important to me. And especially having having no cap and having a small percentage up to the company and no franchise fee allowed me to have the ability to start building my own team.
Absolutely.
And
And
then,
Tammil,
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
And then I never really thought much. I thought it was fantastic that Glenn Sanford had a stock program, but all I just kind of like, that was cute. I patted on the head a little bit, you're able to put 5% of your commissions away. And I just did that. And I didn't think about it. And one day I'm sitting with my team. We have a new team member on. He came from a different franchise over to EXP. And he said, "Hey, let's look at this stock." And he pulls mine up. And I'm shocked because it's close to $100,000. I mean, I walk into EXP in 2019, and in, I don't know, roughly end of 2020, I have a lot of stock. And I'm thinking to myself, how many agents have I watched, and have we all watched over the years, who do a great job of building a business, but not building their future because they aren't in a traditional company where you're automatically getting 401k or stock sharing or all the benefits that you get. They're entrepreneurs just like my parents were. And there's great advantages and benefits to being an entrepreneur, but there is a downside. And I just felt like EXP and Glenn Sanford had they say they're agent centric, and the things that they do prove it.
Yep, 100%. And Tammy, when it comes to EXP, they do have all of these amenities, right? You talked a little bit about stock share. We've got revenue share, collaboration. There's so much that they allow for their real estate agents to build on their future. And, you like the technology, you like the capability of building your own team. But what really makes you say, I am never leaving EXP?
That's a good question. I really think it is, some people tell me, for instance, when you say, "Hey, you should check out EXP," and they say, "I could get stock of my own." Yeah, but you didn't. And your company didn't offer it to you, and they could have. And so I really honestly feel like it's because I have experienced and believe that this company is so forward thinking and literally agent centric. I know they're going to take care of me. They've proven it every step of the way. And it's all there. There's attrition in any company, but we have discovered, so I moved over to EXP in March of 2019, April of 2022. So it's been a few years, and we have discovered that they deliver on what they promise. Now, again, a learning curve in every company, things you love, things you might want to change, but they deliver every time. And they're always on the cutting edge. They're so far ahead technologically. And whether you want to be far ahead technologically or not, that's where the industry is, and that's where it's headed. So you better figure it out and get on board.
Evolve or get left behind.
Yeah, exactly. And I was impressed when we first came on board. Somebody we didn't even know in Arizona gave us, I don't know, a 2-hour training on our CRM, on KV Core, and how to put our leads in. And I mean, when I was at a traditional brokerage, I've met other agents if I went to one event, but I didn't have any collaboration with other people outside of our office. I didn't even have collaboration with other agents from that brokerage and other offices. So, right. So that has been phenomenal. We have Workplace where we can connect in so many different ways. I was also really impressed when EXP put on a free whole week-long commercial training. Who does that?
I've not seen a company, either brokerage or outside of the real estate industry, really invest in their employees and care about them the way that EXP does. In a matter where everyone wins, it's really cool to see. And talk about employee retention, right? Everybody's excited to stay here because they've got a share in it. They have a little piece of the pie of what's becoming revolutionary for the industry.
I've been watching the new agent workplace group
Mm.
and just seeing, new agents as they onboard and, changing and onboarding into any company takes some time. There's going to be some stress. But what I loved is every time somebody had a concern or they didn't know what to do or where to go or whatever the case may be, people didn't just say, oh, here's a link. They said, here's my number. Call me, reach out to me. I will help you. Here's resources. What do you need? Here's my suggestion. Here's how I handled that. And that is the culture that we have at EXP. And I'm not saying other cultures they aren't helpful with each other, but there is just something about EXP where people just step up and help the next person, no matter who they are or how it impacts them financially.
And expecting nothing in return.
Absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm.
Just so cool. And Tammy, obviously you stay busy. You said you're a mom. It doesn't matter if those kids are grown yet or not. You're still a mom and you're worried about them and you're keeping track of them. And you're a real estate agent and you're into forward thinking and investing and you're taking advantage of all these trainings. And Tammy, I just want to know, like, how do you take care of yourself? How do you make sure that you're avoiding burnout mode and kind of practicing a decent work-life balance?
It's a good question. So last year for many of us was definitely a very full year.
Yeah.
I hit about top 11 in volume, top 11 people in volume of all the agents in Douglas County. And so it was a very, very busy year. And I did experience some burnout. I did get overwhelmed. I'm fortunate I have a team, so we can work together to give each other some time. But what I did was I took some time to travel, and it's an opportunity as a business owner that you can write off on your taxes. Yeah. But especially with EXP, because I can be in a city and I can just talk to an agent about EXP, about their experience in real estate, and it is a write-off for me. So not only do I get that downtime, I do get to meet with other agents. I get a look at other markets. I get a look at investments. I have some clients that are looking to partner with me, and we're looking at Airbnb properties in other areas. So, if I want to go to Walla Walla and taste wine and look at investment properties, that's a really fun thing for me. And I get to write it off and it'd be just part of my business plan. So that's kind of what I have done. Is my husband and I have taken some more opportunities to step back and travel. And I do have an assistant that helps me, and I do have a team to help, so we can help each other. That's why we came together and wanted to have a team, is that so we can share some of the burdens and some of the rewards, both of real estate.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. That's a brilliant way to recharge while also investing in yourself. That's really cool, Tammy. And, moving to the next question, I think that I would love to hear a little bit about what the Icon Award is to you. But more specifically, and we don't have to get into the exact numbers because our heads will spin. But I do want to know, what kind of production did you have to do in your market of Oregon to hit Icon and cap, compared to somebody, who's living in Alaska and has to probably sell a few more homes than you do, or compared to somebody living in LA who probably has to sell 3 or 4 homes compared to you. So we'd love to get an idea of where your production is at, just so we can gauge the market. We want to know what benefits you took away from the Icon Award. And then most importantly, how did you give back on the cultural piece? I know EXP requires their icons to give back either by teaching or being a mentor, doing lessons in EXP world, vetting. So we'd love to know the Icon through Tammy's eyes.
Okay, the icon through Tammy's eyes. Well, first of all, the first time that I received an icon award in the mail, it's a beautiful, I don't know if all of your guests have seen it. So
Sure, let's take a look.
it's a beautiful, it's hard to take photographs
Oh,
of.
so cute.
Glass award. And
Mhm.
while we talk a lot in EXP about how, you know, in our previous brokerages, we got a lot of awards, but no money, you
No
know,
value, yeah.
no value. Right. And so there is a value to getting an award. Don't get me wrong. There is. It came in the mail. It was really nice and boxed. And I just felt really, really special and cared for, honestly, when I got this award in the mail.
Yeah.
But EXP backs it up with financial rewards. You know, we get $8,000 in free stock up front, and then we can earn the additional 8,000. And so nobody ever in my life before handed me $8,000 of anything for achieving results, right?
Sure.
And so that is huge, and being part of the icon community as well. So I'll just go through real quick. When I started in 2018, first of all, let me give you, we're in a rural area in Oregon. Okay. We're not up north where Portland is. We're not as populated as Eugene, which is the southern end of the northern end. It's that southern tip of Willamette Valley. We're south of that. And so our city is about 23,000 in population, and our county is pretty vast. There's 100,000, but they're spread way out, right? So Roseburg in our county with 23,000 is the largest city. So that kind of gives you an idea. And when I started in 2018, the average sales price was around 200,000. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
And so it has moved up. It is in the mid threes now. So last year, not to achieve icon, but last year I did close to 16 million. That was 46 transactions, and they average in the mid threes. You know, and then it depends, of course, what percentage you're getting of your commission on a sale. So some markets, while, you know, Phoenix's market is a higher average sales price, some agents are getting 2% and no longer 2.5 or 3. So, so what do you have to sell? I mean, you're doing about what, 3 million in volume to cap, and then you do 20 more transactions on top of that to icon. So I started in EXP in 2019, and I hit the cap, but I didn't hit the 20 transactions. And then in 2020, I did about 11 million, and I did enough transactions to make icon 30. I don't remember exactly. We'll say 35. And then this year it was 46 transactions.
Okay, awesome. That's a really good gauge of the market, especially in your area. And, you know, have you like enjoyed most about the Icon Award? Like, you know, you got the award, but you know, the giving back aspect that we kind of touched on earlier.
That was the other part of the question. Yeah.
Yes, you know, like how you give and you expect nothing in return. What aspect did you give back to EXP?
So I am a mentor, and that's how I chose to give back, is to mentor new agents coming into EXP. And I love that we have a mandatory mentorship program, because I think every agency says, oh, we train. And we're saying, hey, we if you're new, you're mandatory. You've got to go through our training, and you need somebody to hold your hand through some transactions. And I also train and grow through my own team. And then we have an office here of a lot of independent EXP agents that we have a collaborative office, because obviously we don't have a franchise or a franchise owner. And so I love to train and help people grow. So that's my contribution. That's what I like to do.
That's awesome. And like you said that you like to work with like the new people and train them and watch them grow. So I would really like to know, for the newbies out there that are watching and they see this big shiny icon award, how do they go about striving for that? Is that something that may be a little out of their reach when it comes to being new to EXP? Or, you said that you were able to cap your first year, but you didn't quite make the transactions. So what is some advice to the newbies out there, that really are like they're overwhelmed. They're coming into a whole new world. EXP is technologically ahead of its time, and there's 150 hours of new training a week, and there's trying to sip water out of a fire hose, right? So, what is some advice? And should they even try for the Icon Award in their first year? Is it obtainable? Should they set that as a goal later? What should they be working on?
We just we were just fortunate enough to have Glenn Sanford and Brent Gove be here in our community. And if you've never heard Glenn and you've never experienced Brent, two very different people, one thing Brent really stated was you just got to go after it and you have to have grit. And you've got to let nothing stand in your way. You have to move forward, go after it, turn over every rock. Absolutely. And that is really, momentum is your best friend. And if you're not getting momentum, find new ways, try new things, get out there, knock on doors if that's what you need to do. Grab somebody. There are so many people available that want to help you. Just grab onto them and say, shake them and say, I need help. Raise your hand. Don't expect it to just fall in your lap. It's not going to. This is your business. It's your life. It's your future. And you've got to run after it. But there are all the tools, all the training available. And if you get lost and you get frustrated, ask for help. Somebody will help you. And however, the way that you want help, like maybe you like helping the world as an avatar. Maybe somebody in your area or in your sponsor group or your mentor knows someone. If they're not helping you, maybe you like workplace. Maybe you just like being on the phone. Maybe you like Zoom. It's out there. There isn't just one way, but honestly, it is to get out there and absolutely go after it and have grit. And that's what Grant said. Just get up and move. That's what the top people do. They find new ways. They forge ahead. And we have all the tools, tech, all of it. But you don't have to be tech savvy to make it in EXP.
Absolutely. No, you're so right. You don't have to be tech savvy, but you have to be a self-starter. You have to be willing to ask for help. You have to be willing to, like, I like to tell people, EXP is the bones, and you have to scale up how big you want to be, right? Yeah. You get to decide what you want to put on the bones, put on the structure, put on the foundation. They've got a tool belt, and it's got every tool you can think of, but you have to pick it up and be like, how do I use this? What can I best use this for me? How do I teach other people how to use this? You have to be involved in that way.
And you have to learn to live out of your comfort zone all the time. Don't wait until you're completely comfortable to go talk to somebody or to host an open house or to whatever it is that you're looking to do. Just get out there and do it, because practice is what makes perfect. You're not going to start perfect. And if you wait to be perfect before you start, you won't get going. And if you treat it like a business, just like people say all the time, if you treat it like a business, it is a business that is very rewarding. So some people go in the mindset of, because I don't know why they think this in real estate, where they wouldn't if they started a mattress company, right? They don't expect some big mattress corporation to teach them what to do. They pay to go get training, and they understand that they've got to keep those doors open, and it's up to them to market their business. Just like it is in real estate, it is up to you. It's just about how you're going to go after it and use those tools. And real estate, I mean, I pinch myself every day. Don't get me wrong. They're we all have our, our hurdles and our frustrations and all the things that come with business ownership. But we have got a vehicle that multiple people all over history and all over the world have utilized to launch their careers, launch their wealth, launch their lives. So I just say go after it and don't let anybody get in your way.
Absolutely. And Tammy, speaking about getting in your way, sometimes the only person getting in your way is yourself. And for our last question, I would love to talk about Even if you could go back to who you were when you first knew EXP and you saw the greener grass and you were skeptical, what would you say to yourself when you're thinking about making the jump and these people are like, in your ear nagging you like, oh my gosh, you don't want to go over there. It's a pyramid scheme, this, that, another. So what would you have to say to somebody that's watching right now and thinking that same thing?
What do you have to lose? You can always go back.
Right.
And how many other places in your life have you made a change, and did it really kill you? Right? I mean,
Nope.
We all make changes. We make them all over our lives. People that have had, this is a bad analogy, terrible marriages get remarried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
You've got to take risk, calculated risk, but you have to take risk to move forward, and you have to make change. And if you think that what you're doing today is going to get you the same results tomorrow, you're wrong. So Look at your business, look at your life, and just see if it makes any sense to talk to somebody about it and have an intelligent conversation. And then, don't let fear stand in your way. There's plenty of people and resources to support, and look at the people who made a jump with a lot more to risk. Like Brent Gove, he had a huge franchise. Okay. He invested money in Keller Williams, and KW was the hot sauce, right? And so that was a bigger risk than me in Roseburg, Oregon, doing my little volume and moving over to EXP. So look at the big dogs and what they're doing and why. Why'd they make a market shift? And take the jump.
It's great advice, Tammy. I agree. Take the jump. Put your toes in the water. Look at what people have risked, and they've faced some great reward. And, they got in there and then they worked for it. It doesn't just come naturally. But EXP, we've got the model. It's a great start. All you have to do is jump.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Tammy,
Thanks.
I think this has been a very, very quality episode.
Thank
you
you
so much. Of course, it's offered a lot of insight, and I think your background has been so interesting, and how you got into real estate. And are you going to be at EXP Con and shareholders?
Oh, you're holding me to task. I am not going to be there this year. I know. Oh, wah.
What do you have to do that's better than going to Vegas? Huh? Okay, I've heard excuses like, I'm about to have a baby. Fine.
I'm about to have a
Where
baby.
are you going, Tammy?
I'm not going to have a baby.
Okay, well, I'll be bummed because that means I won't get to catch up with you, but that means we will have to connect soon.
We have more opportunities, absolutely. And I've been to some great EXP events. So just not going to be at this particular one.
I'm gonna turn the camera off and cry now.
Yeah.
Tammy, so.
Cancel.
Canceled. I'm not airing this episode. Cut it. Tammy, thank you so much for your time today. This has been an excellent show, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Okay, thanks, Gianna.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.